Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Terry's Flooring Sam Broyles Show, where we cover everything on the court with the Chuckey Doak Black Knights basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Sam Broyles. Coach,
hey,
it's been quite a minute.
Yeah.
How's it been?
How was Christmas?
It was good. How was yours?
It's been better. Been kind of rough. I had someone close to get hurt, trying to take care of her ankle. Broke her fibula and her ankle.
Wow.
So it's been one thing after another this Christmas.
I hate to hear that. How was your New Year's?
Pretty good New Year's. Our team's getting better.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can ask for. A young team like I have, and especially through Christmas tournaments we played in, and we've played North Green since then and Cherokee last night. So we're getting better, and it makes me feel good about our boys moving forward.
And we'll go through and we'll talk about a few of those games since the last time we sat down, but it's good to hear your team's doing better. Let's jump into that right away too, because we'll talk about some games and compare those to other scores from previous end of the season. But you talk about your team getting better. This is a time of year I think you want your team to get better, because basketball and mainly all sports are all about getting hot at the right time. And you want to get hot going into conference play, which is what you've got coming up, because what you had mentioned to me right before we started this interview, it's crazy to believe that after tonight you'll only have 10 games left in the season, and 80% of those are conference games. So how comfortable do you feel going into this conference slate with your team improving going into it?
Well, it's what it's all about. It gives us some confidence too. Now, my goodness, our conference is pretty good this year. So, at the same time, you want our boys to get better, but our conference is going to be pretty tough. So where we've improved, and a lot of the teams we haven't played yet, like West Green, we'll be playing them twice. Johnson County, South Green. And then we still got Hampton and Happy Valley there. I believe they should finish it up, if I'm not mistaken. But, you want to get better. We'll see each time, like the first time we play those teams. Can we compete with them? We'll find out.
I think the last time we had sat down and talked, your previous game was Cloudland, all the way back to an exact month ago from today. And in that span, you had Hampton, Happy Valley, Cedarview Christian, the Happy Valley Holiday Classic, where you played Ray County, Appalachian Christian Homeschool, Kachia, and then you started off the new year with North Green and then Cherokee last night. So in those 8 games, you had 2 wins against Cedarview Christian and Appalachian Christian Homeschool. Those were 2 out of 3. You had a loss in between with Ray County, but talk about those 2 wins against Cedarview Christian, Appalachian Christian, and talk about what you liked seeing in those games and the development.
Well, in that one game you're talking about, we were down 20-2.
Wow. And
we were able to come back, and that gave us some confidence. We give Ray County, a game. They won that tournament, and we played with them, until the fourth quarter. They kind of pulled away, but it gave us some confidence up there. And then, the next night we were down 20-2, but we were able to come back and win. And then we played a Kachia bunch. People think homeschool. Well, this team 6'9", 6'4", point guard, 6'1". They were about as good as anybody we've played, and we led them for most of the game. And we've been doing that, here lately. We'll lead for most of the game, but then we're not finding that way to win when it matters most. That young teams, it takes a while, and once they find that way to win, it becomes contagious. Or at least that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. And you look at the previous 2 games, it's kind of the same scenario where North Green was a 13-point loss and Cherokee was a 6-point loss, but you had it within a 2-point game with North Green in the third quarter, and then the Cherokee game you led for 3 quarters and had a lead with 2 minutes to go before it slipped away. So you're playing competitive in these games. I think, like you say, though, I think they're a young team and they just haven't found a way to get over that hump yet.
Yeah, and that's true. And, if you look at Cherokee, we quit scoring. You've got to continue to score. 49 points is not enough to win. And what's amazing, we're playing better defense. We held them to 55. We held North Green to 55.
Yeah.
That part we're getting better at. And like I told them, even the Kachia loss, I believe we give up 60.
60, yeah.
Those, you hold a team in the 50s and 60s, you ought to win or have a chance to win. And, once we get over the top, I think it'll be a big difference. But the thing I've seen so far, we quit scoring. and we got to figure a way to get over that hump, like you're talking about. Right now, I mean, you lead for 3.5 quarters, whatever, and then you quit scoring. You know, we went up, 48-47 or something like that with 2-something to go and never scored 1 point the rest of the game. And those are the things we got to fix.
And then you go back all the way to the Happy Valley game, too, where you held them to 60 points in that one, too. So if we go back to every game that we haven't talked about since the last time we've sat down, only twice has a team scored more than 60. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 times has a team scored more than 60 on you. And one of those was the Appalachian Christian game where you allowed 61, but you had 67 in the win. And those 2 where you did allow more than 60, of course, Hampton and Ray County. Ray County, who won the tournament, and then Hampton, who's going to be a real contender to win the conference this year. So the team defense is something that I don't think personally I'd really looked at and noticed too, but I'm glad you brought that up, where you've held teams to 55, 55, 60, 61, 60, 45. So talk about the defense and how happy you are with the way your young team's playing defense.
You know, we're getting better as a team. And, you know, we're getting to where we can play man-to-man and, you know, throw some junk defenses at people too. But the biggest thing in the Cherokee game, we were able to play a man-to-man matchup with them. And, you know, a lot of times, like North Korea, they were a lot taller than us, you know, from Carico, Davenport, you know, at the point, as big as he is. But you're right, we're getting better defensively, and that keeps us in games. Now we got to figure out a way to continue to score in those low-scoring contests.
And then moving forward now, you've got Cloudland today, a team that you've played once this year, and then you've got one more game the rest of this week before you jump in to conference play next week with Johnson County. But before we talk about that, as always, we need to get a few commercials in first before we go to the second half. So we'll be right back in just a minute to talk about those here on Grassroots Media.
At Corner Pond, the friendly and knowledgeable staff has the experience necessary to help you out regardless the need. Have an item of value you'd like to pawn or sell? Corner Pond can help. They pawn numerous items of value, including firearms, tools, ammunition, silver, coins, and much more. When you walk through their doors, you'll find well-stocked shelves full of electronics, gaming systems, fishing and hunting equipment, car audio and accessories. And don't forget about the room full of guitars and basses and amplifiers, or their outside lawn and garden equipment. Corner Pond is a case knife dealer and carries numerous used knives as well. Stop by and let the friendly staff at Corner Pond help you today at 432 East Bernard Avenue, Greenville, Tennessee.
Pizza Inn offers contactless buffet to go with JoJo's Family Feast or anything on our menu for carryout. We also honor birthday parties and cater to businesses and large events. We make it easy. Call us today. Pizza Inn Greenville.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Terry's Flooring Sam Broyles Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the Chuckey Doak Black Knights basketball team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Sam Broyles. So you've got 2 games this week, and then you have one early next week with Johnson County. We'll preview all of those, starting with Cloudland today. This will go up before the game tonight, so if you do see this before the game, you're probably in attendance at Chuckey Doak High School watching this. If not, you'll see this after the game. But you've got Cloudland tonight, a team that you had played earlier this year and picked up a 59-34 win against up there on Roan Mountain. So preview tonight's game against the Highlanders. What can we expect?
Well, we can't take them lightly. You know, they beat Happy Valley.
Yeah.
Happy Valley beat us. You know, the thing we've got to get better about, and our boys, we talked to them last night about, we've played better on the road than we have at home. So we got to figure out why, and tonight, hopefully, come out and play our best game. You want to win those home games in front of your
Absolutely,
home
yeah.
crowd. And when you play better on the road, something's not right about that. So we're going to try to figure that out. And hopefully, we cannot take Cloudon lightly. Just like I said, they beat Happy Valley. We didn't. So, tonight, I understand we beat them up there, but still, it may not be the same team we faced.
It's been a month in between games, and
Yeah.
that's always the case. And then you go into Saturday with Cedarview Christian, a team that you've also previously beat 60-45. It's kind of a good week for you all because you're playing two teams that you all have already beat early in the season. So this may be a good week to kind of get things right mentally, get a few wins under your belt, boost that confidence going into conference games next week.
Yeah.
So take us through the Cedarview game and also what you think you can expect on Saturday.
Well, you're right. We'd like to win tonight and win that game to develop some confidence going into the, conference games because West Green, they beat North Green.
Yeah.
And, beat them pretty good too. And that, that tells me that they're going to be, one of the better teams in our conference. It's going to be a tough game for us. I mean, next week's going to be tough. I believe we go to Johnson County.
To West Green,
And
yeah.
to West Green. So, neither one of them's going to be easy games. There's no doubt about it. Johnson County, it's never an easy trip.
No, it's
all
not.
the way up there and turn around and got to play at West Green. And, they're playing well at home. Layman's boy, he's something special, what I've seen so far out of him.
And I think what people don't realize either is you go to Johnson County on a Tuesday. A lot of people look at Johnson County on the road and think, oh, we don't want to make that travel, but you never want to make it on a weeknight either, especially on a Tuesday night. So you get through that on Tuesday, and then you have West Green again on Friday. So big conference week next week, but you've got a big opportunity this week to get 2 wins under your belt against two teams that you've already beaten previously this year. So how good are you feeling going into this week knowing that you've had 2 wins over those teams and you kind of look back at that film and know the tendencies of that team?
Well, it makes you feel good because you want to get a win tonight. Yeah. Get some momentum going. Let's win Saturday night, 2 games in a row, and then let's make that long trip to Johnson County. Just like today, we started school back, as you can hear the students.
Got little kids running around.
So who knows where they've come from?
They've came from probably, I don't know which elementary school, but.
So I'm sure parents are glad they're back in school.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they are, and I'm sure you're glad to get basketball back on a regular school schedule, too,
Yeah,
because, of course, when you play games when you're not in school, you never know what to expect.
Well, like last night, we go to Cherokee, and, they had school.
Cherokee did?
Yeah, they went on
Okay.
2-hour delay, but we didn't. But then we played, as well as we did. So you never know how it's going to go.
And then I misspoke earlier in the interview. You've got a dozen games left before the Cloudland game. So you've got 12 games left on the schedule. I believe 8 of those are conference games. You knock off 2 of those non-conference this week before you go into Johnson County and West Green on the road. And then we won't talk about it too much, but you turn around that week after and you get 2 crucial home games against South Green and Hampton, who could potentially be the top 2 in the district, which would be a big week for you. But I think from here on out throughout the season, that's the term that we're going to have to use, is it's going to be a big week every week from now on.
It is. You're right. I mean, South Green here and Hampton here, just as well as I do, that's probably your 1 and 2 teams. But
Yeah.
you never know with Johnson County and West Green. They're right there too.
But a big week ahead. Before we get into those too much, of course, you've got Cloudland later tonight. I know you told me you got 4 JV games today with Cloudland. So you've got a JV boys game in just about an hour. I know you'll be on the sidelines for that before you prep for the varsity game tonight. I'll let you go and get to that. But, Coach, once again, I appreciate you for sitting down with me. We got to mention the college football playoff first. We talked about it last time when we previewed the games. And
You don't want me picking for you.
We-
You see, I bombed.
the last time we sat down was right after the conference championship games. So we've been through 2 rounds so far, and I think everybody's bracket's dead. It's just like March Madness. Everybody's bracket's dead.
I can't believe Georgia
Played as bad as they did.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to where Notre Dame were more physical than them. That's
Yeah.
what amazed me about the game. But Notre Dame's good this year. Who knows? They may make it to the finals.
And I think we were all sleeping on Ohio State, too. They look like the best team in
Oh, my
football at the
goodness.
moment.
you know, Tennessee fans ought to feel a little bit better because they laid it on Oregon.
Yeah.
And Oregon hadn't lost a game.
I'm hoping they don't lay it on Texas this week, but that's what I fear. But, hey, Ohio State's that team right now. They're on a roll.
I don't see anybody beating them.
The Texas fan in me wants to say that Texas will, but from an outside perspective and being 100% honest, Ohio State probably is the team to beat.
That's the way it's looking. I mean, good grief.
I mean, the Texas fan in me doesn't want to outright come out and say that Ohio State is going to win, but it's hard to say that Texas could get that game wrapped up because
You know, I know they've got the athletes to play with Ohio State, but goodness gracious.
Ohio State's got they've got the physicality, they've got the experience mainly too, because you look at those seniors, you've got 5-year and 4-year
The
seniors.
quarterback, what year is he?
Will Howard, 5th-year senior.
Oh, okay.
That's the one thing that I think could potentially go in Texas's favors because he came from the Big 12, and Texas has played him many times before. So they know his tendencies, but it's always different going to another team in another system. But
Apparently the teams before didn't know his tendencies.
No, they
because
didn't.
He's lit them up.
he has. He's turned a new leaf over in the playoffs. But hopefully next time we sit down and talk about it, we can see if Ohio State or Notre Dame are in the championship, because I think that's what everybody expects. But as we've seen so far, you really don't know what to expect in the playoffs.
Buckeyes, I'm afraid you might as well just face it.
Yeah, I think so too. But, Coach, that's all we've got for this week. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Terry's Flooring Sam Broyles Show. We look forward to seeing y'all next time here on Grassroots Media.